Lawless presidents will victimize the U.S. if Trump isn't held accountable, warns George Conway. So this is by Mary Pappenfuss, trends reporter out of Huffington Post. And I agree with this fully because after what happened at the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., our country is never, ever going to be the same. It was already leading up to something really crazy. You know, we have the virus, we have now even deadlier variants of the virus. People are already scared. There's a lot of fear. The economy is not like how it used to be. People are shuttered. Businesses are closed. Businesses are closing. If they haven't closed already, they're trying to open some things up. So you have to be careful where you go. If anything is open, everywhere you go, people are wearing masks. There's a lot of fear. And then, it took forever for Trump to come out and say what was going on. And when he did, there were back and forth mixed messages. People are so heavily affected by this whole thing of this virus stuff that they've lost jobs. People have still been struggling. Different cities here have been struggling. And then you have the rise in hate crimes, the police shootings, the brutality. And then you have these issues right here, the Capitol siege, the Capitol building was basically taken over by groups of people who felt like they just had the right to go in there and just take over and pretty much perform. And we saw how that outcome ended. Not good. Lives were lost. And there's still fear. And then there's the fear that people were not held accountable. Justice has not been served. So lawless presidents will victimize the U.S. if Trump is not held accountable. And so this is true. And so conservative anti-Trump attorney George Conway warned that Donald Trump must suffer the consequences of his actions, or the nation is doomed to be victimized by presidents unrestrained by the law in the future. And so Conway, the husband of Trump's former White House counsel, Kellyanne Conway, presented a lengthy examination in an opinion piece in the Washington Post of Trump's suspected misconduct and even possible criminal behavior in a variety of actions in the White House and before his presidency. So just listen to all of this and see. This is what we were dealing with for 4 years. So this includes suspect campaign finance violation, possible collusion in the 2016 election with Russia. Robert Mueller did not exonerate the president despite what the president has claimed, noted Conway. There may still be significant fallout from Trump's strong-arming the Ukraine's president to go after political rival Joe Biden, which led to Trump's first impeachment and the tax and business conduct being investigated by Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance Jr. Conway warned. So particularly troubling was Trump's post-election behavior. The post-election behavior, Conway noted, fear and indictment for past crimes seemed to animate Trump's frenzied efforts to overturn the results of the election he so clearly lost and retain the protections of the presidency, he added. And so a desperate fear of criminal indictment may even explain Trump's willingness to break any number of laws to stay in office despite losing his re-election bid. Democracy and the Constitution be damned, Conway wrote. So Trump even insisted to Georgia's Secretary of State in a stunning recorded phone call to find enough votes. You hear that? Find enough votes for him to overturn the state's actual election results. Find enough votes. Then, as the clock wound down of his time in office, he committed the ultimate impeachable offense for a president, fomenting a violent attempt that put the Capitol And everybody, all these lives, all these people that were in the Capitol building, their lives at risk, to stop Congress, to push at the Capitol to stop Congress from confirming President-elect Joe Biden's electoral victory, Conway wrote. And so if there could be any doubt about whether Trump can be given a pass without a rule of law paying too high a price, that ended in the ugly final weeks of Trump's presidency, Conway added. His attempts to reverse a free, fair election by any means he saw necessary, including by fomenting violence, have not only undermined the rule of law, but also threatened to destroy it altogether. So no other president has ever done that, or attempted to do that, or probably even thought of doing that, not even Nixon. So Trump's post-election conduct makes it possible for the Justice Department to look away. It makes it impossible for them to look away from these acts, Conway noted. And so if prosecutors don't investigate and if warranted charge this former president, then we might as well say that all presidents are completely immune from criminal consequences for their conducts, whether during their time in office, their term, or after, or whether the conduct occurred before the presidency or while in office, Conway added. We might as well say flat out the presidents are above the law. And so I do agree with that. That is just really crazy what we've been seeing, what we've seen. Lives were lost. There's a lot of fear. And, as of now, I've been hearing that there's an even deadlier variant, more than one, of this coronavirus. And now it's even more higher in contagion than what it originally was. And so this is what makes it extremely deadly. And so now we're looking at, who's going to pay the price for this? This is terrible. And so having said that, I'm going to let this go, but we've got to do something about this. You can't look away from a situation like this. It puts a lot of lives in danger, even as of now. So, thanks for listening.